Welcome to another episode of Truth Bombs and Heart Nudges with me, Lori Herbers, your host and guide. So I know I've been gone a little bit. Sorry, things got a little wonky, crazy. I got a little behind, but I am back and ready to go. Today's Truth Bomb and Heart Nudge is dun, 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 dun. It is a series of things, not one single door. How often in your life do you wait for this perfect moment or this door to open and everything's going to be magical and perfect and all your dreams are going to come true? Just one door. The thing is, we're always becoming something. And even though there may be a door that we're heading for, we're walking in our soul's purpose, we are being guided all of the time. Love always leaves a trail. I always tell clients that are confused about what their purpose in life is to look back to when you're little and defining moments throughout your life, because you're always becoming more or less you, depending on if you're on a journey inward or outward. Because looking outside of yourself, again, looking outside of yourself for that one door to get you somewhere, you're focusing on something other than really where you're going. So in order to focus on becoming more of who you are and claiming your purpose and allowing and embracing all of that you are, you can't do that looking outside of yourself. All of that comes from inside of yourself. You have to do the work inside of yourself. You have to take control of your mind, of your thoughts, of your emotions, of your belief system. Because when you come into this world as this perfect, beautiful ball of love, unfortunately, life happens. People may say something to you that really hurts you, that wounds your soul. I mean, it's so deep, it wounds your soul. And then you're carrying that forward. Because when you're little, you don't know how to understand that other people's perspective may not be your perspective. So although you're entitled to your own opinion, someone else's opinion should not dictate you. Never let someone else's words become your truth. But when you're little, you don't know how to process your thinking or your feelings. And you don't even realize that you're creating rules that's setting up your belief system. But by looking back at those moments before or even during, we need to heal those soul wounds, and all of that is part of your journey. It's like your life is a story. You can turn the page. For instance, I came from abuse, and even though the abuse had stopped, I kept it going because I allowed the words that he said to me become my truth. They became my belief system that I was worthless and I couldn't do anything right. So following that belief system, what kind of door am I looking for? It's always going to be the door that's never going to give me what I want, because I wasn't who I am supposed to be. I allowed other factors to change me. So going back to the inward work. So I had to do a lot of inward work. I had to go in there and say, okay, what is this belief? What is this rule that I made for my life that, I can never have anything good because I'm not good? Well, that's not true. And it's really quick to change those beliefs when you have a truth that kind of kicks out that lie. So for instance, I didn't think anyone could ever love me. I actually even had someone tell me they felt sorry for me because no one would ever love me. And that stuck with me for a long time. Even though I wasn't consciously thinking about it, it was still ruminating down there in my subconscious. And it wasn't until I pulled it out and was like, well, is this even true? My mom loves me and my sister loves me and my daughter like I started breaking that apart with truth. So the thing about life is a journey. So it's not just one single door. So I can look back through my life and think, why did I do this and why did I do that? But all the way through, I was always that person people came to for empowerment, for encouragement, to be inspired. That was always in me. I just didn't realize that it was meant for more than what I was doing with it. And so I can look back and see a series of just, conversations and inward growth and little doors. So it's not really one single door. So if you're looking for just this one defining single door, although some people might have like this, woo, but there'll be more doors to come. It's not one. So if you're focusing on just this one thing, you could be missing out on all these other little bitty things that are happening that are going to catapult you forward. And it's going to make everything change for you, because just one tiny shift, it's like a ripple effect. So what seems so small over here is like a domino effect of all these dominoes dropping now, and everything changes. And a lot of that happens inside of you, because other people outside of you, they can't see the way that you see. Even though your eyes see the things, your mind tells you what's there. And so you and someone else could be looking at the exact same thing and be thinking two completely different things. Are either of them wrong? No, it's your perception. So when you start tweaking your perception and how you see the world, and take back the power of your own mind, it is yours. Just because thoughts pop into your head does not mean you have to entertain them. You can send them on their way. Life is a beautiful journey. It is not a journey of missteps and failures and wrong ideas and wrong decisions and mistakes. See how that's one perception? Or it is lessons and stepping stones and guideposts and learning and growing and becoming more. There's a difference between just those two thoughts alone. You're becoming less or you're becoming more. What is it that you want to become? Because you can keep going through a series of things to become less than you are, to become more negative, to have more lack, to have more fear, to be more judgmental, to dislike yourself more. Or you can have love and acceptance and happiness and joy and abundance, and do those lessons. Take what's going on in your life and go, what can I learn from this? Maybe you took a door that you thought was for you, but everything went really haywire and you're not happy. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, now I just made this huge mistake. Or you can say, okay, well, that wasn't working the way I thought it would. I can now make a different decision. I tried that one thing, didn't work out the way I thought it would. And that's perfectly beautiful, because now you learned something. It's the same with not knowing what you want to do. And I've had this conversation with my daughter. Try something. Try it. See if you like it. If you don't like it, try something else. That is how we learn. It's the way that we also do self-care. If we don't know how to do self-care, or what makes us feel good, or what fills us up with love and happiness, then we try things. Jot it down. I went to the spa today. I had a massage, didn't like it. Or I went and had a massage. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I need to do this more often. I went for a really long walk by myself out in nature, and it was amazing. Or I went out for a walk and my allergies went wonky. So now I'll cross that off my list as don't do that. Everything is a series of heart nudges and truth bombs leading you, if you're listening. But for most people, it is not just this one single door and then everything's magically better and it stays that way. There's the saying that you reap what you sow. Well, guess what? Both of those are verbs. So maybe you're out there sowing, but you're not reaping anything because you're sitting at home going, where's all the stuff? Where's the stuff? It's just like the farmer plants all the seeds and doesn't wait, during harvest and go, okay, the plants and stuff are going to bring themselves in. No, he actually has to go out there and reap them. It's an action. So there's a time for being and there's a time for doing, which is all part of your series of things taking you forward to your heart's desire. So maybe you could look at that single door as your heart's desire, but your heart might be desiring more than one thing. Again, more doors. It's a journey. It's a beautiful journey. Your life is this beautiful journey. And if you don't see it as that, then your perception needs to shift, because everything about you is beautiful and magical and wonderful and awe-inspiring. There's miracles happening all over the world, all of the time. But if you're not seeing any of them, it's because you don't believe that they exist. You're not looking for them, because what you focus on becomes your focus. So if you're focusing on how you have nothing, guess what you're going to keep having? Nothing. Just like the radio signal, if you get in your car or on your phones anymore and you maybe Spotify or whatever you connect to, you're the same. You're basically this beacon calling out to the world to give you what it is you're sending out first. So if you're sending out that emotion of fear and lack, unworthiness, everything you send out is like this ripple, and it crosses out across the world, building momentum as it goes, the same frequency. So say that frequency is lack. Okay, so I already feel like I don't have enough. There's not enough. I don't have enough money. I can't pay for this. I can't have that. It ripples out across the world, and then it makes its way back, kind of like a boomerang, but it brings more, right? So if you're already sending out, constantly sending out lack, there's never enough. Guess what keeps coming to you? Nothing that's good. It keeps you in that frequency of not enough. So even if you did make money, something happens to take that from you, because you are sending that out, that I don't have money and I will never have money, and everything comes to lack. So you have to change your belief system. You have to change what you're sending out. What you have today was something you sent out before today. Might have been yesterday, might have been a week ago, a month ago. Some things take longer to come back. Some are quick, because there's always a cause and effect. If you want tomorrow to be different than today, you have to think different. If you want it to be different tomorrow, you have to change today. You can't change tomorrow, because guess what? Tomorrow is going to be the effect of something that happened over here before. So if you're in doubt, start looking back at the things that got you where you are now, because there was a series of events that happened, a bunch of different doors that you went through, per se, that got you right here. So if you're listening to this right now and you're thinking to yourself, this isn't where I want to be, guess what? That's okay. It's still beautiful. It's still your journey. Guess what, though? You can change. You can do something different. You can see the world either in a negative or positive light. If you've been seeing it in a negative light, then do the inner work and change it to positive, so that the ripples that you send out are positive. Because whatever you give out always comes back bigger. Think about that. So if you're yelling and screaming at people all the time because you're angry and upset and things aren't working out, guess what reactions you're going to be getting in a ripple effect is people yelling and screaming at you, because that's the frequency that you're gifting the world. You're always gifting the world something, because you're alive, because you feel, because you're breathing, because your heart's beating. So never think that you don't matter, or that what you're doing isn't important. Every single thing you do matters, and every single thing you do sends a ripple out, and it comes back boomerang style. It's coming back to you. It might even take a bunch of people out on its way and on its way back, but it's always come back to you bigger than you sent it out. So you need to be mindful of, what am I sending out? What is that emotional frequency that I'm transmitting everywhere that I'm going? Am I bringing people up, or am I bringing people down? Because if you're trying to find a door that's in the positive realm, you're never, ever, ever going to get there living from a negative one. Ever. No matter how many doors you try. So it is a series of things, not one single door. You are constantly learning and growing. You're always becoming something, more or less of you. That's what you need to start thinking about today. Do I want to be more of me or less of me? And you can never be more of you if you're not filling up that love bucket, if you're not making sure all of your needs are met and that you're giving from the overflow. Because if you go out empty, you have nothing to give anyone else. Ever. You must first have it in order to give it. Right? Which is the same process of, if I want positive things to happen in my life, I must first be positive. If I want to start seeing all kinds of miracles in my life, I must first believe in miracles and be looking for them and hopeful anticipation, because I believe they're coming. If you're not believing that stuff is coming, it's not coming. Right? Because the only thing you're getting is what you sent out. So if you're sending out disbelief, then you're just going to keep getting stuff that keeps you from believing. So it is a series of things. Not one single door. You have to decide what you want in your life. No one can do it for you. No one. No one can see through your eyes. No one knows what's going on up in this head of yours except you. And if you don't even know what's going up in there, then it's time to get up there and clean. It's like that attic in the house. Everybody just kept throwing stuff up there for decades and millenniums, and no one even knows what's there. Time to clean it out. Time to clean up. Like I said, if you even have dishonoring thoughts, any thought that pops in your head that doesn't serve you in any way, get rid of it. Get rid of it. And the more that you do that, the easier it gets. At first, it's hard. I will tell you, because I came from negative world of hate and anger. And it was one tiny step at a time. But then those tiny steps got a little bit bigger, and things started going faster and it got easier. And now I immediately know when I have a dishonoring thought pop into my head, because I'm like, whoop, nope, gone. So those are the things you have to decide. Do the inner work, and you'll be amazed at what kind of doors fly open for you. Everything will change. Everything will change. It's all up to you.